Alright, what is going on, guys? Welcome back, and today I'm going to be discussing something that I think that the Clippers need to do this offseason if they want to contend for a title next season. Now, to me, the Clippers don't have a valuable starting point guard that I would trust to be the starting point guard on a championship roster. Rajon Rondo, I think, is the veteran on that team. He's there to be the backup point guard. He's never going to be the starting point guard ever again on the team, in my opinion. But Reggie Jackson has been stepping up. He did step up throughout the playoffs, especially when Kawhi was out. But I do know a starting point guard that the Clippers need to and should go after. Now, of course, Kemba Walker was already traded once this offseason from the Celtics to the Thunder, of course, and Sam Presti, of course, wants those picks. He would definitely deal Kemba Walker for more picks. Now, the problem, of course, with picks is that the Clippers are probably the team with the most debt in draft picks. Of course, trading for Paul George, for Shea and Gallinari and all those guys, with all of those picks, that leaves the Clippers with, I believe, no more first-round picks until 2027. So I think that could definitely be a reason, but looking back at Kemba Walker's last season, of course, with the Celtics, I definitely, along with a ton of other people, did not really expect him to do as good as he did last season, averaging 20, and becoming an all-star, of course, with Tatum, Brown, Robert Williams, even trading for Evan Fournier, with all those guys developing, plus the trades that they made at the deadline. I mean, he became like the third option from the first option when he was first traded to Boston. So I definitely didn't expect him to average 20, but he was really close with 19, about 19. He had like 5 assists too, so he really did have a solid season. I think that the Clippers could definitely use a guy like him to run the starting point guard. Now, you could definitely be thinking like, well, what about Reggie Jackson? There's no way that he's going to be the second string point guard. And he probably won't be. He's probably going to be the starting point guard, somebody else. Of course, remember that he is an unrestricted free agent. And seeing how well he played in the playoffs, he's going to be getting the bag from some teams. And there's no way that the Clippers are going to be able to repay him. And I think that Kemba Walker could be a really, really good trade piece just to bring in to be that new starting point guard if they're not able to re-sign Reggie Jackson. Looking into the regular season with the Clippers, he was an average point guard, of course, averaging around 11, 3, and 3, 45% from the field, 43% from 3. He was just, an average point guard for the Clippers. And in the playoffs, stepped up tremendously, averaged around 18, 4 assists, and was just absolutely insane. Of course, mainly stepped up when Kawhi Leonard was out, but still, 18 points for this point guard who literally had averaged 11 on the season is just absolutely insane. If there was a most improved player for the playoffs, Reggie Jackson would have won it by far. I mean, I would have to look into other players, but I think at least seeing how we went from 5 points to 18 points, I think that he probably would deserve that award. And moving on to this other report, Reggie Jackson's playoff usage could be a blueprint for future teams. Like I said, he's going to be getting the bag from some other teams. I don't think that the Clippers are going to be able to re-sign him. And here, Reggie Jackson dropped at least 20 points in 5 of his last 7 postseason games. Now, I guess those 5 were probably some against, maybe like a couple against the Suns, and then maybe a couple against the Jazz is my guess. But yeah, I mean, he was just absolutely absurd for the Clippers, and like I said, I think he's going to be getting the bag from some teams. The Clippers won't be able to bring him back, and I think that Kemba Walker would literally be the perfect point guard for the Clippers to just easily trade for while the Thunder are in the middle of their rebuild. Now you could be thinking, but what if Kawhi doesn't accept this player option and sign somewhere else? Honestly, I don't really have an answer. If Kawhi leaves, then Paul George is most likely gone the next year. I don't know when his contract expires. And the Clippers are probably back to rebuild. That's probably my guess, honestly. That's probably my guess. But honestly, I think in the end that all these rumors, I mean, I'm surprised I'm not even wearing my Heat jersey right now. It's some type of Heat jersey. But I think that Kawhi I would love for him to come down to South Beach. But in the end, I do think that Kawhi is probably going to accept his player option. Kind of make it's going to end up being a bit of a boring offseason with... I think Chris Paul is going to end up staying with Phoenix. Kawhi probably is going to, like I said, I think he's going to accept his player option. And then after that, the top guys, like... It kind of settles down a level to guys like Collins and DeRozan. Now, they are definitely, like, all-star caliber level, but, like, not superstar caliber level like Chris Paul and Kawhi Leonard. Now, of course, the Suns and the Bucks have their finals matchup set. We will have that preview and sort of post view of the Eastern Conference Finals coming tomorrow. But that will wrap up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Kemba Walker, I think, is the perfect fit for the Clippers to trade for, especially while the Thunder are in the rebuild. Now, the question is whether Sam Presti will allow those picks to be in literally more than 5 years. But we'll end up seeing. And have a great day. Peace.